Nobody dreams about moving to Portugal, Mexico, Spain, Costa Rica, Panama, or Thailand, and then fighting with their US bank from another time zone. But for some Americans abroad, the biggest stress isn't rent, it isn't groceries, it isn't even the language barrier. It's getting access to their own money. And that's the trap we're talking about today. Because a lot of people build a moving abroad plan around lifestyle. They think about the apartment, the walkable neighborhood, the cafes, the healthcare, the weather, the slower pace, but they don't think enough about the financial plumbing. How will your money move? Where will your social security go? Will your US bank tolerate your foreign address? Will your brokerage keep your account open? How will you receive security codes? Will your phone number still work? Will you owe taxes in 2 systems? Will foreign bank accounts create reporting requirements? These questions are not exciting, but they are the difference between feeling secure abroad and feeling financially vulnerable in a country where you don't fully understand the system yet. Here's the thing. Money abroad is not just math. Money is emotional. When your banking works, you feel grounded. You can pay rent, buy groceries, book flights, handle emergencies, transfer funds, live normally. But when banking stops working, everything feels unstable, even if you technically have enough money. Imagine being in another country and your debit card stops working, or your bank wants identity verification, or your US phone number doesn't receive the code, or your brokerage asks you to update your address, or a transfer is delayed, or your rent is due and the international wire hasn't arrived. That can turn a beautiful retirement destination into a very stressful place. Not because the country is bad, because your access plan was too fragile. Now let's start with US banking. Some US banks and brokerages are not thrilled when customers live abroad full-time. Policies vary. Some may allow foreign addresses. Some may restrict certain services. Some may require a US mailing address. Some may close or limit accounts in certain situations. And this is where people get surprised. They assume that because the money is theirs, access will be simple. But financial institutions have compliance rules, know your customer rules, fraud systems, address requirements, security protocols, and sometimes being abroad triggers friction. Maybe not right away, maybe not for years, but it can happen. So many experienced expats maintain a US mailing address, a US phone number, multiple bank accounts, and backup cards. Not because they're paranoid, because they've learned that redundancy is peace. One bank is not enough. One card is not enough. One phone number is not enough. One transfer method is not enough. When you're abroad, backups matter. Now let's talk about phone numbers. This sounds small. It is not small. A lot of American banking depends on 2-factor authentication. Text messages, verification codes, app confirmations, security calls. If you give up your US number too quickly, you may create problems you didn't expect. Your bank may send a code to a number that no longer works. Your brokerage may require verification. Your credit card may flag foreign activity. Your insurance provider may need confirmation. Your social security login may require authentication. Suddenly, the cheapest decision, canceling the US phone plan, becomes expensive in stress. So before moving, think carefully about how you'll maintain reliable access to US accounts. That may mean keeping a US number through a plan, a low-cost carrier, or another solution that works for your situation. The specific tool matters less than the principle. Do not cut off your verification lifeline before your new system is tested. Now let's talk about foreign bank accounts. At some point, you may need or want a local account for rent, utilities, residency, insurance, daily life. That can be useful, but foreign accounts may create reporting responsibilities for Americans. This is where FBAR and foreign asset reporting can enter the picture. The details depend on thresholds and your situation, so this is an area where you should talk to a qualified tax professional. But the bigger message is simple. Foreign accounts are not just local conveniences. They may also create US paperwork, and that paperwork matters because penalties for getting financial reporting wrong can be serious. This is one reason some expats try to keep their foreign accounts simple. They don't open unnecessary accounts. They track balances, they keep records, they use professionals when needed. They understand that "I didn't know" is not a great financial strategy. Now let's talk about taxes. And I know this is the part where everyone wants to click away. But stay with me, because this is where a lot of expensive assumptions happen. Leaving the United States does not automatically end your U.S. tax responsibilities. U.S. citizens generally still have to deal with U.S. tax reporting on worldwide income. Depending on where you live, you may also have local tax obligations. That does not always mean you are taxed twice in the simple way people fear. There may be treaties, credits, exclusions, and rules that help, but it does mean complexity, and complexity has a cost. You may need specialized tax preparation. You may need to understand residency rules in your new country. You may need to track days. You may need to understand how pensions, Social Security, investment income, rental income, or remote work income are treated. You may need to plan before you trigger tax residency somewhere. This is especially important for remote workers and entrepreneurs. If you can keep U.S. income while living somewhere cheaper, that can be powerful. It can transform your quality of life. But remote income can also raise tax and legal questions. Are you allowed to work under your visa? Where is the income taxed? Are you creating local obligations? What happens if you run a business? What happens if you have clients in multiple countries? This is not meant to scare you. It's meant to keep you from treating digital nomad like a magic phrase that solves everything. Income arbitrage is wonderful when structured properly, messy when ignored. Now let's talk about Social Security. Many Americans can receive Social Security while living abroad in many countries. But that does not mean you should assume every country works the same way. Payment rules can vary. Reporting requirements may apply. You may need to respond to forms. You may need to keep your address updated. And you should understand how benefits will be deposited and accessed. For many retirees, Social Security is the foundation of the monthly budget. That means the payment path needs to be boring, reliable, and tested. Boring is good. When it comes to retirement income, boring is beautiful. Now, another hidden issue is currency. If your income is in US dollars and your expenses are in another currency, exchange rates can change your real cost of living, sometimes in your favor, sometimes not. A country that feels affordable today may feel less affordable if the dollar weakens, or if local prices rise in expat-heavy areas, or if rents are priced with foreigners in mind. This is why your budget needs margin, not just enough for today's exchange rate, enough for a less favorable one, enough for inflation, enough for surprises. If your entire plan only works when everything goes perfectly, it's not a secure plan. It's a fragile plan, and fragile plans feel stressful. Now, what does a stronger financial access plan look like? First, keep more than one U.S. account, a primary bank, a backup bank, maybe more than one card, ideally cards with low or no foreign transaction fees. Second, maintain a reliable U.S. phone number or verification method. Test it before you leave. Do not assume it works. Third, understand your bank and brokerage policies before becoming a full-time resident abroad. Ask questions, read policies, know what happens if your address changes. Fourth, create a local payment plan. Will you need a foreign bank account? How will you transfer money? What services are reliable? What are the fees? How long do transfers take? Fifth, hire tax help before the move, not after the mess. Talk to someone who understands Americans abroad and, ideally, the country you're considering. Sixth, keep records, bank balances, transfers, residency dates, tax documents, pension statements, Social Security records, foreign account information. Being organized may feel boring, but abroad, organization is power. It protects your peace. Now, let's be honest about the downside. This stuff is annoying. It can feel unfair. You may think, I just want a simpler life. Why does everything require more paperwork? And that feeling is valid. But the simpler life abroad often requires a more careful setup at the beginning. That's the trade-off. You do the boring work early so daily life can feel calmer later. And for many people, it's worth it. Once the accounts are set, once the transfers work, once the tax plan is clear, Once the phone number works, once the backup cards are in place, you can relax. You can enjoy the market, the beach, the cafe, the slower mornings, the feeling that your money stretches further. But that freedom comes from systems, not luck. So before you move abroad, don't just ask, can I afford the lifestyle? Ask, can I access my money reliably? Can I verify my identity from abroad? Can I receive retirement income smoothly? Can I handle foreign account reporting? Can I afford specialized tax preparation? Can I manage exchange rate changes? Can I pay for an emergency without waiting on one transfer? Because money access is not a side issue. It is the foundation under the whole move. And if that foundation cracks, everything above it starts to feel shaky. Moving abroad can absolutely help you live better for less, but only if your money can move with you, calmly, reliably, legally, and with enough backup that one locked account doesn't become a crisis. So here's my question for you. What would worry you more abroad? The cost of living itself or losing easy access to your US money? Tell me in the comments, because this is one of those practical fears people don't talk about enough until it happens. If you're thinking seriously about life abroad, the cost, the healthcare, the safety, the visas, and what day-to-day life actually feels like, this channel is here to help you make a smarter decision. So if you want more honest, practical videos about living better for less outside the US, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.